In the stillness of the night, a dimly lit hospital hummed with the distant sounds of machines, signaling the end of another long day. Most of the staff had begun to wind down, yet the air was thick with an unshakable tension. In a cozy maternity ward, a young mother named Emily, weary but radiant, cradled her newborn baby in her arms. The room was filled with warmth and love as she gently kissed the baby's forehead, whispering sweet nothings. But this serene moment was soon interrupted by the arrival of a nurse in scrubs, her expression friendly yet professional. "Mrs. Langley, we need to take the baby to the nursery for a quick check-up. It'll only be a few minutes," the nurse said softly. Reluctantly, Emily handed her precious daughter over, her heart heavy with unease. "Please be careful with her," she urged, her instincts beginning to stir. The nurse assured her with a warm smile, "Don't worry, we'll take good care of her." As the nurse walked away, Emily watched the door close behind them, an inexplicable sense of dread washing over her. She tried to shake it off, her exhaustion taking over as she drifted into a light sleep. Moments later, a sudden beeping from the monitor jolted Emily awake. She squinted in confusion as a different nurse entered the room, clipboard in hand. "Good evening, Mrs. Langley. I'm here to check on your baby," the second nurse said, her brow furrowing slightly. Emily frowned, confusion clouding her mind. "But one of the nurses already took her. She said it was just for a few minutes." The second nurse's face turned pale as she glanced at her clipboard, realization dawning upon her. We don't have any records of her leaving the nursery." Panic gripped Emily's heart. "What are you talking about? My baby's gone." The weight of the words hung heavy in the air, and the nurse rushed out of the room, urgency etched on her face. In the hospital's security room, a guard rewound the surveillance footage, his heart racing as he focused on the nurse carrying the baby. The guard zoomed in on her face, but she was nearly unrecognizable, masked and cloaked in darkness. "I'll alert the police," he said, determination sparking in his eyes. Back in the hospital room, Emily sat alone, clutching the blanket her baby had been wrapped in, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'll find you," she whispered, her heart aching with despair. "I swear I'll find you." As the clock ticked ominously, the hospital buzzed with frantic activity, unaware that a mother's fierce love would soon ignite a relentless search for her child. Emily's determination burned brighter than the darkest fears in her heart, setting her on a path fraught with danger and deception. What followed was a harrowing journey filled with twists and turns, where every moment counted and every clue could lead to her baby's whereabouts. Emily's strength would be tested, and as she delved deeper into the mystery, she would discover the lengths she was willing to go for the love of her child. As the night wore on in the hospital's security room, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Officer Martinez and Detective Harris were fixated on the grainy footage displayed on the monitor. It showed the moment a nurse, her face obscured by a mask, took Emily's newborn baby from the maternity ward. The sense of urgency was palpable as they scrutinized every detail. "Zoom in," Detective Harris commanded, leaning closer to the screen. "Look at her eyes, her posture. Something feels off." Officer Martinez nodded, his brow furrowing in concentration. "This isn't just a random act. Whoever did this knew exactly where to go,